So very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the second day of the online faculty development program on recent advances in biosimilar development. Now we have Mr. Rajeev Nabmiar, who is the National Director Programs and Senior Trainer, The Art of Living, Bengaluru. And the first session where he will be talking on human values and ethics. As an introduction, Mr. Rajeev Nabmiar, with the mind of a qualified engineer and master degree in yoga, is now spearheading programs as a national director in the world-renowned Art of Living organization. In continued span over 20 years, he has played multiple roles in the organization, including CEO of Shri Publication Trust, CEO and editor of Rishimukh magazine, and director Vyakti Vikas Kendra India, while leading several projects on field from strategizing to execution of social welfare projects in the field of education, youth empowerment, and environment. With this brief introduction, I invite Mr. Rajeev Nabmiar for a talk on human values and ethics. Over to you, Rajeev.
Thank you, Dr. Somasundaram. Thank you so much. A warm welcome to all of us who have joined today from Naipur. Dr. Somasundaram, is a lot more people joining in, or is it we start off?
Actually, we have 50 participants.
Okay.
This is the morning session. I think one by one they are joining.
Oh, so they will join somewhere in the middle. So I will, whatever practices that are there and techniques that are there, I will take it towards the last of the, I thought we'll start with the practices, but I will go to the end of the session. So how would you like to have this discussion? Do you want to have a one-sided discussion? You want to have a two-sided discussion? You want to have a cordial discussion? I would like to know. See, there is, because all your videos are off. There is no way I can understand what you are, whether you are there or if you are there, what is it that you are communicating. So at least I would request you to use the chat box and communicate.
Yeah. I request all the participants to switch on their camera if possible.
This is a challenge that all of us have been having as teachers during this period as well, right? Thank you, Dr. Shweta. Thank you, Argya. Just a few minutes before everybody switches on their videos. Yeah. Okay. So the talk is on human values and ethics. So so before we start the conversation, I would assume that Dipendraji, you want to say something? You've raised your hand. You can unmute. Can the participants unmute themselves, Dr. Somasundaram? Yeah, you can unmute yourself, speak, and go back to mute. Or else you can use the chat box, whatever suits you. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Today, fundamentally, the crisis that the world faces today is that of identification. People identify themselves in the limited scope, either by gender, race, nationality, religion, forgetting the very basic identity that they are a part of one universal spirit. This limited identification is the cause of all conflict. Both at a personal level as well as globally. Every individual is a sum of all these limited identifications for sure. But the highest identification that we should make is that we are a part of one divinity. Only secondly, we are human beings, and then members of the human family, and then the human race as a whole. Along with proper identification of our true nature, we need to return to our values, the essence, the core of all traditions, religions. Religion has three aspects. One is values, one is rituals, and one is symbols. And if you look at all religions, the moral and core of all religions, the spiritual values among all traditions of the world are same. It is only the practices, the rituals that are changing. The way of life is changing. Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar often says that religion is the banana skin and spirituality is the banana. People hold on to the banana skin, but the core of it is the banana itself. Unfortunately, most people have thrown away the banana and holding on to the skin. So how can we ensure that we can have human values in society? First, identification. We flip the identification the process of the identification itself, first and foremost, that we are one part of this human race. And then it goes to smaller identification, whether it is religion, whether it is country, whether it is family, whatever. So, but when we get the whole thing wrong and we say that we are a part of certain religion, certain sect, that is where the whole problem begins. And the second word in this is ethics. You know what is ethics? A very simple definition. Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar has given a very, very simple definition of ethics. I don't think there is a more simpler definition of ethics at all, in just one line. What you don't want others to do to you, you don't do it to others. Simple as that. Just the one line. So if you are into business, you don't want your vendors to cheat you, so you shouldn't cheat your customers. Full stop. If you're a businessman, you buy so many things from so many people. There is interdependence. It is not like you can create everything and sell everything. Not possible, right? You have vendors, then you have customers. So how would you like if your vendors start cheating you? You won't like it, isn't it? So the same way, then you should not cheat your customers. So if you're an employer, you don't want your customers to cheat you. So you shouldn't cheat your employees either. So it's the same way. It's like what you don't want others to do to you, you don't do it to others. It is as simple as that. The baseline of the ethical life is not to do things that you don't want others to do to you. That's it. Yeah, you don't want anyone to steal things from you, so you don't put your hands into the other people's bags or other people's work. Not needed. Now the third piece, so first was human values, then there is ethics. The third piece in this, people often confuse ethics is with morality. Morality is just following social norms that the society has. For example, in India, you have a left-hand drive, isn't it? But in other parts of the world, they have right-hand drive. Yeah, you drive on the right side. So when you hear here, because there is a set rule to drive on the left-hand side, and you allow others to overtake from the right-hand side, if you don't follow that, then you will have problem. Then the whole structure, because there is a certain core value, that is why there is orderliness. You are forbidden to drive on the wrong side. And when you break these accepted social norms that are there, you are reprimanded, you are fined, you are penalized. Yeah? Some things that are certain things that are moral in some part of the world may not be moral in another part of the world. They are just rules that exist in the society. Yeah. So that is why they say, no, in Rome, be like the Romans. But ultimately, you have no choice. Then there is another part to it. That is integrity. That's a very beautiful word, integrity. People often confuse this word integrity because they don't understand that integrity means coming together, one. That is the nature of your consciousness. When your consciousness is powerful, your mind is powerful. You feel solid, you feel focused. You are not scattered. There is clarity, there is sincerity. That is integrity. Lack of integrity is a confused mind. where things and objects become more important to you than you itself. When you are more important than your own desire, that indicates integrity. When is integrity compromised? Integrity is compromised when something, some object, something that you want becomes more important than you. When those desires dictate your life, you have a chance to lose your integrity. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So these are very small concepts that I wanted to start off with. And how do you become have more integrity in your life? How do you think that can happen? Our ancients were very, very intelligent. They said the secret to everything is right under your nose. But our education, our formal education has not taught us any of these things. Neither in school or in college or anywhere through our education system were we taught how to handle the mind. Were we taught about it? No, isn't it? We were never taught how to handle the mind. If you are angry, somebody just told you, don't get angry. Sorry. Somebody just told you, don't get angry. But they never told you how not to get angry. No, I remember a very interesting story, interesting anecdote to make this point. So there's a professor who is walking by the Ganges. He comes to a small village there and he's walking by the Ganges and he wants to now cross over to the other side. So there is a boatman standing by the by the side of the river, and he asked the boatman, "Can you cross me to the other side?" The boatman says, "Yes, of course. You give me 50 rupees, I'll take you to the other side." So both of them sit on the boat. It's just the boatman and the professor. So the boat starts slowly and getting out of the anchor and moving forward. After a while, the professor is like, there is a silence. Okay, the boatman is rowing the boat. The professor is just sitting on the other side of the boat. There is silence. The professor is getting inquisitive. He's wondering, okay, this man is getting 50 rupees. I don't know how many people ever come to him. So he has so many questions in his mind. So he goes and asks the boatman, do you understand anything about politics? No, he wanted to test what he knew. Do you know who's the prime minister of this country? Boatman says, I have no idea. Do you know who the chief minister is? He says, I have no idea because I just every day I earn my 50, 100 rupees. I eat my food. I go back to sleep, come back in the morning and do the same thing again. Boatman says, if you know nothing about politics living in this country, then 25% of your life is a waste. So then there is a silence for some time. So then the boatman asks, then the professor asks the boatman again, do you know anything about science? The boatman looks at him. What is he asking? What is he talking about? Say, do you know physics? Do you know chemistry? Do you know how this nature of things work? Says, I have no idea whatsoever. Like I told you earlier, I just earn my bread and butter, live my life. It's a very simple life. I know I have no time to know any other things. I just know who are the customers and they want to go from this side to that side and I charge them 50 rupees or whatever. And I take them to the other side. That's all I know. I know nothing. Then the professor says 50% of your life is a waste if you know nothing about science. So, but the boat keeps going over for a while more. Now the professor is even more curious. How is this man existing on this planet without knowing anything about politics? Nothing about science. So he asks, okay, maybe he knows something about finance, something about money, how to save money. So he asked the boatman again, do you know, you earn so much money, how much money do you save? Do you know anything about investment? Do you know about anything about banking? Do you know anything about mutual funds? He says, what are you talking about? I have no clue what you're talking about. Then the professor says, if you don't know anything about finance, then 75% of your life is a waste now. After a while, there is a marked silence, and then somewhere in the middle of the river, the boatman asks the professor now, Professor, do you know how to swim? He says, no, I don't know. You know what the boatman says? He says there is a hole in the boat, and before we reach the other side, the boat's going to sink. If you don't know how to swim, 100% of your life is a waste. So we learn all the things in life, so many things we learn, but we do not learn the basics that are essential for us to live life itself. That is where, if we focused a little bit on what our ancients said, our ancient sages, our ancient people said, the answer to all your problems, the answer to all your questions, to answer to everything that you wanted to know, the secret is lying under your nose. And the breath has a lot of secrets to offer. Stress is one of the biggest causes of most of the problems, isn't it? You all agree with me? Yes, no? Yeah? Can we get some? I mean, I just know, I sometimes think that the frame is frozen, so I need to get some interaction to know that my frame is not frozen. Yeah. Thank you, Chandan. Thank you, Agya. Stress is too much to do, too little time, and lack of energy. Yesterday, Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar addressed the induction of all the institutes of national importance. So about 32,000 students across, first year students across NIT, IIITs, IITs participated in the event. There is where he said, stress is too much to do, too little time and lack of energy. How simple, no? So too much to do is not going to change in any of your lives. We know that. Too little time, time is same for everyone. The only thing that we can change is lack of energy. How you can improve your energy. And that improvement of energy can come with breath. So the breath can improve the energy. Breath can give us a tool to deal with the mind, which will ensure that we are able to maintain our integrity even if our desires overpower us. We are able to maintain the integrity of the consciousness, able to ensure that the mind doesn't go wavering and then gets into things that we don't want to get into. Everybody, a professor, a teacher has something to teach, but every single person on this planet is teaching us something or the other. Even a criminal is teaching something, right? Somebody who's taking a sentence in a prison, or somebody who's convicted for a murder is teaching us something. He's telling us what not to do. He's telling us a means to avoid the suffering that he's going through. When I have taught programs in Bangalore Central Jail and Arthur Road Jail and prison programs, many of these people who are hardcore criminals living in cells and they don't even interact with other people, they cry and sob, saying that why didn't we get this knowledge before? In the spur of a moment, something happened. And then they got caught up into the web, and then it became a journey for them. Coming into prison, going back out, coming back into the prison, or getting caught up in bigger things. The first act that we do wrong is what pinches us. If we are not able to see that pinch or not able to mitigate that, then that becomes a habit. Then you think it is no problem. Doing wrong the first time, so what? The money was kept there, or I picked it up. My mother used to say something very interesting. So I used to come home and just throw my wallet, bag, and everything onto just as I entered the house from school or college. And my mother used to say, the person who comes to sweep the room, the maid who comes, already has lack in life. If you keep that money out there, and there is a need for it, and she doesn't find a means to get something, she may take something from your wallet. Don't blame her, because you have given her the opportunity to steal. No? But how we maintain our integrity even during the tough times when you need something so desperately, and you can say, no, I do not have the means to get it, I don't have the right means to get it, so I will push it another. I will not allow the desire to overpower me. That is when you have held on to the integrity. And the more you live a life of integrity, integrity will get solidified in your life. And when we want to do this, and when we find ourselves on a sticky wicket, on a difficult pitch, the breath will help. Breath is the means to deal with it. So now, just to give you a glimpse of this breath, right from the day we were born to the day we go away from this planet, the breath is going to be our friend, isn't it? But we have never paid attention to this breath. Breath is automatic. Thankfully, God has been kind to us. If we were given a task to breathe, we will say, oh no, I'm very busy today. Tomorrow I'll breathe. And you will not be there tomorrow to breathe. Thankfully, it is involuntary. So the breath has a lot of secrets to offer. So right now, just to give you an understanding of why I'm saying that the breath has a secret to offer is, let us look at our breath and figure out which nostril of ours is working right now. Just blow, just keep your finger under your nostril, blow out from your nostril and check if one of your nostrils is working or both of your nostrils is working. And for those whose left is working, you can put L on the chat box. Those whose right is working, you can put R on the chat box. And for both, you can put B on the chat box. I would like to hear this answer from every single person here. Yes, I'm waiting for the... Right, okay. Okay, right. Deblina says both. Dipendra says right. Okay. Chandan left. Right. Okay. Let just all of us put it down. I'm not got all the answers. That's why I'm waiting. Because if you don't put it down, you will not understand what I'm trying to speak. You will never even take an attempt to notice it later. So right now, yeah, everyone's there. So not got. Dr. Shweta says right. Our brain has two hemispheres. The left hemisphere is connected to logic, all the mathematical calculation, the logic, how things are. And the right is the creativity, the music. The ancients have said so many beautiful things. So if your left nostril is working, your right brain is more prominent right now. Your creative part of the brain is more prominent right now. And if your right nostril is working, your left brain is more active right now. So when you're in that logical thinking left brain, you cannot now do anything creative. You cannot even rest, you cannot even meditate, you cannot even sleep. So, and there is more science to it. I haven't got in depth into it, but there is more science to it. Says when you eat with your right nostril is working, the chance that the food will get absorbed and digested is much better. And whenever you are going, whenever you go to a place of extreme serenity where you're calm and relaxed, or when you have meditated, your both nostrils will work in that meditative state. Even sometimes when you go into an elevated place, both nostrils will start working. Why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? Because some of the secrets that I'm just giving you a glimpse of what the breath has to offer, and we have never paid attention to the breath. So the right nostril is connected to the sun, the heat, and the left nostril is connected to the cooling part. And these nostrils can be altered, that you can be changed by a small pranayam. It's called the Nadi Shodhan Pranaya. Do you want to try this out? Yeah, some of you might take a little longer, but some of you immediately will see the change. Yeah, you want to try this out? So what you will do is you will use your thumb to close the right nostril, and you will use your, so you, for simplicity's sake, you just keep your two fingers on the forehead because you don't know where to keep it. Right nostril with the thumb, left nostril with the other two fingers. To close the left nostril, you'll use these two fingers. That's all you'll do. So did you all get the position right? Yeah. The first thing that we will do is breathe out through the left nostril. Now breathe in through the left nostril, close the left nostril, and breathe out through the right nostril. Alternate nostril breathing. Now breathe in through the right nostril, close the right nostril, and breathe out through the left nostril. Now again from the same nostril that you have breath out, breathe in through the left, close the left, and breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right, close the right, and breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left, close the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right, close the right, breathe out through the left. Long, deep inhalations and exhalations. Breathe in through the left, close the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right, close the right, and breathe out through the left. Slowly let go of your hands, close your eyes, and sit down comfortably and observe the breath. Slowly and gradually, at your own pace. Whenever you feel like, you may let go of your hands. Keep your hands by your side and slowly open your eyes. How are you feeling at the level of the mind? Do you see any difference? You can use the chat box to answer. Yeah? Any change in the state of mind? Rebelina, okay, very nice, calm, okay. Yeah. How many of us the nostril switched? Or both nostrils, something changed? Mangesh says yes. Anybody else? Now both. Yeah. So when the mind goes into a parasympathetic mode, when you're in a more relaxed mode, then the mind can go. Then the breath can go through both nostrils. Oh, Vaibhav says both. Very nice. Oh, all of you are so good. It doesn't happen so fast with many people. Very nice. Now, this is a tool to really relax yourself. Now, if you're able to do this regularly for about 5 minutes, twice a day, thrice a day, how much ever time, you will be able to be in the parasympathetic mode of your state of mind. We all know about the sympathetic and parasympathetic mode, right? Sympathetic mode, the fight and flight, and rest and relax, isn't it? Everybody knows? Yeah, well. Okay. Yeah. The body goes into fight and flight mode. Why is there stress today, so much? Because sitting on the desk, what is the fight and flight mode? As human beings in our evolution, when we see something, a dangerous situation, at least in our past times when we evolved as human beings, the thing was, if you see some animal, something which is more dangerous and you can't fight it, then you want to run away. That's the flight mode. Or else you need all the strength to fight that. So that's the fight mode. So then the fight mode a lot of things happen in the system. The blood vessels dilate, more oxygen gets pumped. The activity of digestion stops, so that you have all the energy to fight and flight. But today's day, what is happening is sitting in front of and when you go and fight and flight, you either run or you fight. The adrenaline pumping, all the energy that is there, that gets used up. You encounter a situation, you run or you fight, and all the energy that is created in the body through the adrenaline, through the pumping, through the blood vessels dilating, all the energy that is there is required for fight and flight. You utilize it, and then the body goes back to the state that it was. But today, what is happening for most people is they are creating fight and flight modes just sitting there. You come across a difficult situation, whether it is in your home, whether it is in your workplace, the body goes into fight and flight mode. But that fight and flight mode, you're not utilizing whatever the body has given you through the fight and flight mode. Because you're not utilizing, they get converted as toxins in the body. That is why the stress. No, that is why so many people get into depression, anxiety, all these things. Yesterday, Gurudev, while speaking to all the students, said one thing important. All of us have one responsibility. With so many suicides happening in colleges, universities, campuses, all of us have one responsibility. Whenever you see a person with a long drooping face, do not just walk past them. Go to them, talk to them. Tell them that the world is not so bad. There is solution. There are people. Tell them that we are there to help. And meditation is a tool that can help people come out of these situations, come out of these anxious situations. And I have seen over the last so many years, people who have done the Art of Living program, people who have practiced the Sudarshan Kriya, people who have focused on the breath, these students have become so bright, are able to deal with situations much better. Earlier we used to talk about what? Intelligence quotient. Okay. How there is a method. It's okay. Compare intelligence quotient. Then we started talking about emotional quotient. Now what we are talking about is another important terminology called adversity quotient. Because adversity is going to come. We have all seen it in the last 2 years. Adversity is going to come. How can you withstand that? How resilient are you? And how fast can you come out of the situation is what matters. That is where meditation helps. Sitting quietly for some time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in a day, doing nothing. Meditation is not concentration. Meditation is not something that you do. Meditation is the art of doing nothing. For that 10-15 minutes, you sit in a space of I am nothing, I want nothing, I do nothing. Only for that 15 minutes. Then meditation will happen. You want to see a small meditation to see how the mind is. You want to go through this journey for 10 minutes? Yes, no? Only if you say yes, I will take you through it. Otherwise, we will leave it at that. You can use the chat box to say if you want. It always happens when students are there in a class. Some of them are very enthusiastic. The rest are just waiting for the others. Okay, Dr. Somasundaram, Dablina, Mangesh. It's only 5 or 6 of us answering, so I don't even know the others are there or not. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Okay, because some of them have said yes, we will just do a short meditation. In this meditation, I will give you some instructions, and you just have to follow the instructions in a very light manner. When I say light manner, when you get a flower in hand, what do? You just smell the flower. You don't just breathe in and try to see if it's getting a fragrance or a smell or not. In a very light manner. If the instruction in the meditation is take your attention to your eyes, you don't need to touch and see if your eyes are there or not. You just take your attention to your eyes and just relax and let go. Yeah? Okay. So let's close our eyes. We will do a short 5-7 minute meditation, and then I will take any questions that are required on this topic, and then we'll see. Yeah? Okay. Let's close our eyes. Take a long deep breath in and breathe out. One more long deep inhalation and exhale completely. Continue with long deep inhalations and exhalations. The incoming breath energizes the body and the outgoing breath relaxes the body. With every outgoing breath, relax a little more. Without much effort, take your attention to all the noises in the environment, whether it is the noise of the fan, the air conditioner, or the sound of the door, or people around, or the vehicles on the street. Take your attention to all the noises in the environment. You are now in harmony with all the noises in the environment. Take a deep breath in and let go. Now slowly bring your attention to your body. This body is a beautiful gift given to you by nature, God, or divine. Honor and respect this body. Take your attention to your right foot. Now we will take attention to all the parts of the body as I speak. Take your attention to the right knee, right thigh and hip, the whole of your right leg, left foot, left knee, left thigh and hip, the whole of your left leg. Attention on your genitals, abdomen, stomach, chest, right arm, left arm, shoulders, neck, throat, face, the top of your head. Take a deep breath in and let go. Now take your attention to your thoughts. Good thoughts or bad thoughts, let it come. Do not resist any thoughts. Take a deep breath in and let go. Do not resist any thoughts. You are now in harmony with your thoughts. Take a deep breath in and let go. Now take your attention to your feelings. You are peace. You are love. Take another deep breath in and let go. You are peace. You are love. Become aware of your feelings. Become aware of your thoughts. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of your body and surrounding. slowly and gradually, at your own pace, whenever you feel like, you may open your eyes. So, how are you feeling? No, how's the state of your mind? Okay. Yeah. Can you write on the chat box, or you can speak out, unmute yourself and speak? Calm and quiet. No? In the state of calm and quiet, if you can maintain this state through the time, then there will be no question of compromise on integrity or human values. You will always be sensitive to other people, sensitive to things around. There will be more self-awareness. That is why the meditation, the breath is so important. You know? And we have, I mean, at least I have seen over a period of time, with all the years that I've been teaching the Art of Living program after my corporate life, that I have seen transformation in people, how they're able to handle, how they become more resilient, how they're able to handle adversities. Take time to do a deeper version of this technique sometime, the Sudarshan Kriya program. Yeah? Yes, Dr. Yes, Argyaji, but Bhattacharya, that's right. Yeah, initially, so this is guided meditation, you know. So in the initial stage, you might need some guidance to meditate. Later on, you just close your eyes and sit. You automatically get into meditation. Initially, when you started meditating, sometimes there were thoughts that come as well, isn't it? Yeah, too many thoughts that keep coming. It can come, but then you should remain a witness to the thought. Oh, one thought comes, then you start indulging with it, then you get into a trip. Uh, yeah, the body starts getting lighter and lighter. Just a few minutes every day, just if not anything, if not a guided meditation, there are, if you search for Art of Living meditation, you will find a lot. If not guided meditation, just put on some light music and sit with your eyes closed for 10 minutes every day. And then after a few days or months of practice, see the difference in the state of your consciousness. That is what will ensure that human values are preserved. That will ensure our integrity. That will ensure that we are more sensitive about things that are happening in the environment, and morality, no? And ethics is also maintained. And then we will be very sensitive not to do anything to others that we don't want others to do to us. Because in this state of mind, yeah? Very nice. That's it from my end. If you have any questions, I can take it up. Anything on this topic at all. The floor is open for you to take to ask questions, because I know that you have another session after this soon. So if there are any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll be happy to give you the answers if I do have the answers. Yeah, Dipendraji, go ahead. You want to unmute yourself and ask? Dipendra Soni wants to ask some questions, Doc.
No,
Yeah.
sir, no, nothing.
Okay, I saw your hand raised.
Okay.
Argya Bhattacharya, you have some questions? I have one question from curiosity, sir. Is it somehow related to lucid thinking? Not really. See, the thing is, we don't have to intellectualize everything. Some things happen at the level of feelings. From a person who's very intellectual, so they would want to intellectualize everything. Not everything needs to be intellectualized, because I don't know, if you say, if I give you an answer, that may be saying from my experience. These are things that needs to be experienced for you. So I would not have a direct answer to that question. I mean, I could say not really, but I would leave it to your experience to find out the answer for yourself on this. Yeah. Anyone else? Dr. Somasundar, I think there are no further questions. And with that, I come to the end of the session.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful to be with all of you. And I hope we will cross each other at some point of time in life and then take things forward. Yeah. Feel free to connect with us if there is anything. If you want, I can leave my email ID here for you. So is that okay, Dr. Somasundram? I can leave my email ID. Yeah, if anybody has anything to ask. I have left my email ID on the chat box. If there is anything at all that you want to ask, please feel free. I will ensure that I revert back on that. Thank you. So thank you so very much. It was wonderful to be with you this day, and